What started out as a deferred resignation proposal from the White House, allowing federal employees to leave their position for a financial incentive, has turned into DOGE firing thousands and thousands of federal employees. With 20% of the 2.4 million members of the civilian federal workforce living in DC, this has to affect the housing market, right? Some are reporting that these layoffs have led to a housing market crash, but have they? Let's talk about it. There are some news articles circulating stating that the DOGE layoffs are causing the DC housing markets to crash. Here we've got Washington, D.C. housing market plummets as DOGE lays off thousands of federal workers. The article reads, home prices in Washington, D.C. have plummeted since the Trump administration and the Department of Government Efficiency began discussing layoffs. Since Donald Trump took office, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has fired thousands of federal workers in a push to reduce spending. In wake of those layoffs, droves of former federal employees have packed up their bags and put their homes on the market, causing the average listing price to sink. Another article reads, DC housing prices plunge amid DOGE turmoil. I'll read a little bit of this one as well. Home prices in Washington, D.C. have fallen by 11% since the beginning of the year, according to a new analysis by real estate trading platform Parcel Labs, tracking the impact of the Department of Government Efficiency's, DOGE, actions on the city's housing market. In the next paragraph, it reads, there's no doubt that changes to government spending and hiring policies could have an outsized impact on the area, and their impact would become more evident in the spring selling season. Mass resignations and layoffs have the potential to shake up the Washington, D.C. housing market as federal workers in the city are uncertain about their future, whether that involves going back to the office or no longer having a workplace. The D.C. housing market is plummeting and prices are plunging. This isn't really the case though. The DC housing market is not crashing, and I'll tell you why. First, you may have seen this image being shared across social media showing that every home in the DC area is being placed on the market for sale. What these social media posts don't mention is that this photo is zoomed in and cropped, so each one of these little listing markers is taking up more than 1 square mile on the map. Take a look at this. I replicated the same thing in Atlanta, Georgia. All you have to do is do a little zoom in and a little clipping, and it looks like a ton of homes are on the market, when in reality, it's just an average amount. If you've ever sat through a statistics class, you know that you can always make statistics work in the favor of whatever your argument may be, and this is a prime example of that. I'm just popping in here to say welcome to my channel, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to keep seeing videos just like this one, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. All right, let's get back to it. The image that was circulating around social media is of Arlington, Virginia. Directly on the website here, you can see how the image changes as I scroll in and out. Second, it's important to note that the real estate market is not like the stock market. It does not change overnight. What's happening now won't show up in the housing market for months or even years, not days. According to Realtor.com, 2,829 homes were listed for sale in the DC area in the first 2 weeks of February. Similarly, 2,820 homes were listed during the same time period last year. That's only a difference of 9 homes, and it surely isn't anything to write home about. Realtor.com also states that the total supply of homes for sale in Metro DC is up by 40% from last year, and listing prices are down 3%. Again though, this isn't in any relation to DOGE firings. These trends are largely in line with national trends. Across the US, housing inventory is increasing and home prices are easing. The housing market is simply cooling down from the hot days of 2020 through 2022. Additionally, it's important to add that most homeowners do not list their homes overnight. If thousands of employees got laid off on February 13th, any homes that came on the market the following week would be highly unlikely to be of any relation to any of those fired employees. Think about it. If you've ever sold a home, you know that it's a strategic process that takes a lot of time and planning. You need to find a realtor, sign agreements, pack and prepare your home. Then you need to get a professional photographer out there and will often have to coordinate with their schedule and maybe even the weather. And that can take some time. This process can take weeks and sometimes even months, especially when home repairs, painting, and other maintenance need to be done before the home can be placed on the market. Most people need to know where they're going as well so that they're not homeless when they sell their home. This usually includes interviewing and getting another job lined up before placing their home on the market. If people were fired on February 13th, without warning, they would not have a new job lined up just a week later and have everything they needed done to be able to list their home on the market. Moving on, earlier in this video, I mentioned that 20% of federal civilian workers are located in DC, which seems significant until you compare the amount of federal workers to the entire DC job market. According to Realtor.com, only about 9% of the DC regional workforce is employed by the federal government. That's small peas, and certainly isn't enough to turn the housing market upside down. Trump, Musk, and DOGE may certainly impact the DC housing market in the future, but right now in the short term, they're not. Most buyers and sellers are waiting on the sidelines to see what happens, so there's no panic selling yet. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alexandra, and I'll see you next time.